The Conservatives have won a Commons majority after what turned out to be a very eventful election night. After months of polls forecasting a close result between Labour and the Conservatives, a sudden failing in support for Labour and the Liberal Democrats has pushed David Cameron's party forwards. Let's have a look at some of the shock results and main stories from the night.
Above all, I want to thank the voters of West Oxfordshire. Conservative
leader David Cameron easily kept his seat in Witney, Oxfordshire, and used his speech to deliver his party's policies and to call for unity in the UK.
Your Member of Parliament. But to me, this election campaign was always about the difficult decisions we had to take over the last 5 years, the foundation of a stronger economy that we've built for our country, and the chance now to build on that foundation and to say to people that if you want a job, if you want that apprenticeship, if you want a home that you can own of your own, if you want security and dignity in retirement, we are on your side and want to deliver for you.
And to that end, as I've told you before,
Meanwhile, London Mayor Boris Johnson won a seat in the UK House of Commons, taking a first step to a possible bid to succeed David Cameron as Conservative leader.
My friends, the people of Britain, after a long and exhausting campaign, have finally spoken. And I don't think we need any fancy constitutional experts to tell us what they were trying to say. I think they have decisively rejected any attempt to take this country back to the 1970s.
Friends, this is not the speech I wanted to give today, because I believed that Britain needed a Labour government.
Ed Miliband has been forced to step down after failing to deliver the results he promised. Their difficult night began with an exit poll predicting the party's tally of seats would be Labour's worst result since 1987. And then the predictions started to come true. Any hopes that Miliband had were dashed.
Friends, Britain needs a strong Labour Party. Britain needs a Labour Party that can rebuild after this defeat so we can have a government that stands up for working people again. And now it's time for someone else to take forward the leadership of this party. So I'm tendering my resignation, taking effect after this afternoon's commemoration of VE Day at the Cenotaph. I want to do so straight away because the party needs to have an open and honest debate about the right way forward without constraint.
I always expected this election to be exceptionally difficult.
They're not the only ones who've had a terrible time, though. Lib Dem leader Clegg has announced his resignation after election results that were far worse than he expected.
Clearly, the results have been immeasurably more crushing and unkind than I could ever have feared. For that, of course, I must take responsibility, and therefore I announce that I will be resigning as leader of the Liberal Democrats.
3 former cabinet ministers, Energy Secretary Ed Davey, Business Secretary Vince Cable and Treasury Secretary Danny Alexander were among nearly 50 Lib Dem MPs to lose their seats. This morning, key results came in with Conservative candidate and Chancellor George Osborne winning back his seat in the Tatton constituency, the seat he first claimed in 2001.
We've had a historic result tonight. We've got historic challenges ahead of us. So now we will get back to work and make sure we complete the task.
UKIP leader Nigel Farage has also resigned after failing to win the seat in Thanet South, but seemed remarkably upbeat despite the outcome.
Many of you may think I'm having a bad day, but let me tell you, 5 years ago on election day, I was in intensive care after an aeroplane crash. So compared to that, this feels pretty damned good.
David Cameron visited the Queen at Buckingham Palace to confirm his second term in office before addressing the nation on the steps of Downing Street.
I will now form a majority Conservative government. I've been proud to lead the first coalition government in 70 years, and I want to thank all those who worked so hard to make it a success. The government I led did important work. It laid the foundations for a better future, and now we must build on them. I truly believe we're on the brink of something special in our country. We can make Britain a place where a good life is in reach for everyone who is willing to work and do the right thing.